Hi, yeah, I can hear you great. How's it going?
Hey, it's going great. How's life?
Oh, life is great. Appreciate I'm putting up with our background here, coming from my bedroom here, as I'm sure everyone can understand why.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to a session just on mastering that conversion rate, and we just gave some strategies for retention and churn and getting customers back, win backs as a huge component of subscription. Now let's focus on that. I'd call it even the middle of the acquisition funnel, middle bottom stuff. We're not going to talk about channel yet. We'll have Nihal later talk about channel, but here really what we can do with our site and our communication channels to convert customers. Ryan, I'll let you take it away on that.
Cool, awesome. Let me see if I can figure out how to share my screen without breaking anything here. I believe this will be the right one. Perfect, awesome. Well, thanks everyone for joining. I'm really excited to be here. I think this is my third or fourth one of these events that I've had the chance to speak on, and it's always good to be able to talk about some of the work we do here at Privy, but also just share some of the learnings from the more than 500,000 e-commerce brands that are using our tools today. And so, what I'm hoping to do today is to walk through some of the lessons that we've learned, some of the really tactical plays that we've seen customers put into play to be successful. We'll hint a little bit about how they use our tools to do that, but the idea here is that I want people to walk away, regardless of what tools you're using or if you're building something yourself, that these are things that you want to be thinking about on your website to help improve your conversion rates. And so I'll go through some of these examples here, and we'll talk a little bit about some of these concepts, and so we can get started. So just a quick overview of who I am. So I'm the director of marketing here at Privy, primarily focused on our demand gen side of our house. So like many of you, I expect, I'm really focused on how do we continue to grow our business? How do we attract new customers, get new people to find out about Privy and our tools and what we do, converting those customers, retaining those customers, and hopefully growing their adoption of our products. If anyone's not aware, just to give a quick overview, Privy, so we are a leader in e-commerce marketing for small and growing e-commerce brands. We're really focused on helping our businesses generate more revenue for their business through conversions on their website and through tools to help stay in touch with customers and drive recurring repeat business. Last year, our customers drove over 2.5 billion through our platform, and that's primarily through the three channels that we offer for our customers, which are tools for website conversion, which we'll be talking a lot about today. But then also, once you convert those customers, how do you continue to communicate with those customers, whether it's through email or text, SMS? And so, if you've ever heard of Privy, most people know us as a app for doing things like pop-ups on your website or welcome offers, and we'll talk a bit about that today. But as a platform offering, we help businesses really not just convert those customers, but retain them and really grow their e-commerce businesses. Whether you're doing have a subscription component to your business or just selling D2C products. So just a quick agenda. So I'm going to really start off today by rethinking how we talk about conversion rates on your website. But this is particularly important for any business that's in the e-commerce retail space, right? Where so much of what we think about is how do we take that traffic that we're spending so much money for and turning them into customers on visit one. And we're going to talk a little bit about why you may want to rethink that and why that's been beneficial for a lot of the customers that we work with. We're going to talk a bit about email as a channel, and really email isn't really the important part. It's really about thinking about channels of communication. So whether you're thinking about building a list for email, or if you think your clientele is more in the text, it's really about building your own audience. And then we're going to get really tactical about some of the plays that you can put into place, whether you're looking to grow email or just grow your customer list. So just rethinking what we talk about when we're talking about, rethinking your website conversion rate. So, when you look at most e-commerce businesses, when you think about all the traffic you spend, we've kind of settled for a pretty low bar in a lot of senses in terms of how many of those people we actually convert to buy. And so, it's not rare that people are seeing conversion rates of, 2%, 5 to 3% lower on some of the paid channels that we're doing. And, we get to this kind of baseline that we're happy with. And then if it's incrementally better or worse, we react that way. But what we don't think about as much is the 98% of people who come to your website and don't do any action, right? And just to do a kind of a baseline, when we look at the types of campaigns that our customers run, we talked about that kind of 2% of people who do or don't do something. Having something, not even talking about selling a product, but something as simple as having an email subscription, on with no offer to go with it, just sign up for our emails. We typically see around 1% conversion rate. But then we see our customers who take the action to offer some incentive. Coupon here is just a way of thinking about an offer, but it could be, some digital resource, or could be a free shipping or anything like that. And we typically see for those customers, it's around a 5% conversion rate on visits. And so now we're thinking that, by offering that incentive and making sure that you're doing that in a targeted way, the conversion rate for those customers is more than 5%. And then we have folks who get even more creative, right? So spin to win here is just one example of a campaign that a lot of businesses will run. And it's not correct for every brand. In some cases, it may not be right for your brand, right? But we see up to 10% conversion rates there. And that's not always a spin to win just to get a coupon or things like that. We've even seen during these times, some of our customers who do subscription businesses or e-commerce businesses in general, doing things like give to win, right? So someone would come, and then based on their engagement with the campaign, they can potentially, as a business, donate to a cause based on what someone gets during that. So just some examples of some of the things people are doing. But the idea here is that when our customers start to think about conversion a little bit differently than just getting that first purchase, but look at different ways that you could get people to opt in on that first visit or on that second visit, we see that they're able to improve conversion rates in a really substantial way. And when we think about email as an example here, we see that on general, the revenue that each of our customers generates from every email captured is right around $16 per email captured. And so when you think about, it can be, at times you may not want to say, well, that's fine and great, we're going to get emails on our list, and then do people really want to be emailed? Do they want to hear from us? We see that these actually do generate really impactful revenue for our customers, and becomes one of their most important sources of revenue. And so this is just meant to highlight the value of thinking about that a little differently. So what I'm hoping to walk through now is just some tactical examples of how we're seeing customers do that. And based on your level of experience and how advanced you are and what you're running today, some of these may start off sounding a little basic. And so, bear with me there. But we want to walk through some of the basic examples people are doing, and then some of the more advanced use cases that you could be thinking about. So the most basic example that we see across all of our customers, whether they're offering a subscription product or a single sale, is some sort of welcome discount. And the welcome discount is really targeted towards new visitors. For any of these sort of campaigns, what you really want to think about is what is the offer you're going to run, and who is the audience you're trying to target. And on a welcome discount, that initial discount that you're going to offer, when that it's an initial visit, you're going to think differently about what you offer those people, say if it were their second visit or third visit, or if they had made a purchase and then returned, and you could still track them through cookies and those things. So we typically recommend for the new visit being somewhat conservative about what you offer, but looking at ways that make sense for your business, right? And so for a subscription business, there may be, you opt in, but then there's an additional value pack that you give on top of that for that first purchase or something like that, right? An additional giveaway you give in that first purchase. And so we have some examples here of some of our customers who will do this, right? HBO, I think this was a great example where it's again, another percent discount on what they would offer. And then for a business like this, where it's in a beauty and skincare, and the branding is really important here, what they're actually going to really focus on is not just an offer, but making sure that the branding of the offer aligns really well with their overall brand and their products when someone actually comes back to buy. And so it's just another example of how, you could just do a simple pop-up that says 10% off, but you should really look to take that a step further and make sure that whatever you're doing and running on your site has a good match with your brand, looks professional, and putting that little effort in is really good. The other thing I would call out here, and I can only imagine that Val may have spoken to this, but the power of great copywriting in any of the touch points you have. So here, you may not, hopefully you can see it here, but getting someone to opt out and say, no, thanks, I don't like discounts, right? These small little things from a copy perspective, it really can have a big impact. And we see that it helps customers improve the conversion rates on these offers. It's okay that some people would say that no one wants to see pop-ups in these things, but if it's something that's compelling, it adds value to that on that first visit, and as a creative way to engage the initial visit, these can certainly add value to your online store. The other one, and this is when we talk about any of our e-commerce businesses that we work with, the two campaigns that we think that every e-commerce business, regardless of the products you sell, needs to be running is both that initial welcome offer, but then the cart saver offer, which again, if you're running something like this today, it may sound pretty basic, but a lot of people think that you set up something just very simply on their shopping cart and then never think about it again. There's huge value here to improve conversion rate from when someone's actually on your site, getting close to buying and leaving. So you shouldn't always think about that conversion rate as that first visit. A lot of times they're actually taking some activity and showing clear signs of wanting to purchase, and then for whatever reason, parents at home with their homeschooling their kids, or delivery outside, they don't finish the purchase, or they just get distracted with work or something else. You want to think about how you can engage those users and improve your conversion rate there. And so the recipe here, and again, for any of these, we'll have Privy as a product, but there's other products out there that can help you do this. You can do this custom built. It comes native in some of the e-commerce platforms or subscription management product platforms you may be using. Is the idea that you're trying to target here, not just on when someone's in your cart. Obviously, if they're in your cart and they're checking out, there's no need to add an additional offer if it's pretty clear they're going through that flow, and don't make the mistake of putting it too quickly. But targeting based on exit intent, which any platform you're going to use to do this can actually see that when someone's going to leave the site, and the mouse starts to head that direction, the cursor starts to head that direction, you can trigger a pop-up there. So again, a couple ways you may think about this is to get people to give a discount, and then you'll reveal a code that they can enter right here when they're going to be checking out. Or you can get even more creative, right? So someone may not just be in their cart, but they may click back to back to your site. They go to look through other products and never make it back. Getting them to think about continue shopping or getting back into the cart experience can be really valuable. And so another example here of how you could do that. And again, I've talked about this on the previous one, but it's another great example from Lisa Mattress, one of our users who, again, giving them an exclusive offer, making it pretty clear that you're setting it to them right because they're looking to go, with really great, beautiful branding, can be really compelling regardless of what you're trying to sell and keep people on your site. These ones start to get a little bit more creative, right? And so for a lot of businesses, if you're doing subscription or if you're selling products that would be relevant, it's really about building that relationship with a customer. And so we see that, something like even a birthday offer, it's something that can drive future purchases, can be really compelling. The point of doing a birthday here is not necessarily what you would need to do. We see that some of our customers who are in subscription businesses who sell, say, eco-friendly products, who want to engage people on, Earth Day or certain days like that. It's another example of you could give people the option to opt in to receive something on a particular day or holiday or something like that. So the targeting here is really about the visitors who are repeat visitors, right? And so you probably wouldn't think to do that for someone when they're first coming to your site for the first time. But what you want to do is to start keep engaging people as they're coming back. And so that's why we say, running something like that on the repeat visit is an opportunity for you to really engage these people who have clearly come, they didn't convert, they didn't take you up on that initial 10%. But something brought them back to your site. And so giving another new creative way to engage them with a birthday offer or a Earth Day offer or whatever holiday you choose here is a great way to engage people a little differently. And it's another example of really thinking about how do you align those sort of offers with your brand and what makes sense for you. And then the secondary piece to that is then how do you actually execute on that? And so that's why the importance of having an email tool that would tie in with your Shopify store or whatever else that you offer, so that when the date does come, that you can actually live into that and send them that offer as well. Again, another example here, which is, it's not even just about the signing in on your birthday or that particular day, but thinking about using that as the hook. But what you're really getting them to do is to opt into the other offers and coupons that you may have. And so you may still send them an offer right on that first day, but it's a great way for you to kind of engage in that way as well. A big thing we see, and I'm sure anyone here who's spending a lot of money running paid, a lot of what we're talking about here is on that first visit when someone comes organically. But what about the folks that you're spending a lot of money and you're having trouble converting those people, and you want to do a better job than converting a 2% conversion rate, but you want to get that up to maybe the 10% conversion rate that we talked about in some of the different campaign offers. And we've seen that the use case for something like a spin to win can be really compelling here. You may think of this just as something for someone who's coming to your site organically, but a lot of times that's why sometimes people think these are distraction, that these come up. But when you're really targeted about who you display this to, and you really lead people through a paid channel, and then you use things like UTM targeting based on the traffic that you're sending, it's a really compelling way to convert people, get them to engage. So now more than ever, when there's so much more traffic coming through paid social channels, through Instagram, through Snapchat, through Facebook, while so much of that activity has increased during quarantine, what we're seeing from a lot of our customers is traffic and click-throughs are going up, but the conversion rates aren't always there. And so we encourage folks to try to get creative with these sorts of campaigns. And we have plenty of examples of these through the different offers that we've seen from our customers. And then when we think about conversion rates, we've talked a lot about how you convert people when they first land on your site. We've talked a lot about what you need to do when someone comes and clearly is showing some activity within your site, whether it's putting an item in their cart, going through the checkout flow and not finishing, or putting an item in their cart, going back to a different product page to look for additional products. But what we haven't talked about is within your site, within your checkout experience, how do you increase the average order value, which is just another way of thinking about conversion. So it may not be, you may be converting enough people today, but are you not converting them at the level that you'd want? And you're going to have to think about what that value is based on the cost of your products and the amount you're willing to spend. But what we see is a lot of folks who will spend a lot of money to get people to their site. You may be converting people at the rates that you want, but you know that there's more that you could be selling these people. And if you're running campaigns that are really targeted to particular pages, so maybe you have a subscription product, but there's different subscription tiers you could be selling. It can be awfully difficult if you're running very targeted ads because you want to improve your conversion rate on those ads, but you have 3 other potential packages that those people aren't seeing. when they go through that checkout experience. And so what you want to think about is how at the right time, when people are going through that checkout experience, when they are going through to make that initial purchase, understanding that their initial thought would be to get the, probably the cheapest trial version to start out, making sure that you are offering them some additional value and incentive to, opt into the bigger offer or an additional product. So you could think about this as an upsell if you have different tiers. You could also think about this as a cross-sell offering when someone's going to check out. So the example we have here is more in the cross-sell example here. And so we think about upsell as you have different tiers of your offer and you want to get people to opt into a bigger package or something like that. I very recently went through this, buying a protein greens product, which is a subscription product. And if you have multiple people in your home, you're kind of probably want a bigger package. And so that's how they targeted me. But in this example, which is more of a cross-sell example, it's someone's checking out with one product, a pendant or a piece of jewelry, and then the cross-sell on that checkout is, you're going to probably need a chain with that. And so it's kind of the fast food example of, do you want fries with that? You can offer that same sort of upsell opportunity, cross-sell opportunity. And all it takes is setting up campaigns. One, if you have a product like using a platform like Shopify, you can actually specify, how many items that someone has in the cart. And then the URL there, you'd look at the URL in your shopping cart and whether it has checkout or pay or whatever that is, run that targeted campaign on that checkout experience. And this we've seen, it was just this morning, we heard from one of our customers who told us basically they're working hard to keep their supply chain going because they're actually selling out because of adding this cross-sell and upsell offer. So it's super compelling. Very often the best time to sell to someone is when they're already in the buying mode. So it's a different way to think about conversion, but if you're happy with the amount of people coming to your site and you feel good about that, think about how you can increase the order value of those people. And it's another way of thinking about conversion. So just to wrap up here, I hope that was helpful for everyone. I know we went through a lot of different examples, but my hope was that we could pick particular use cases that would speak to a few different examples of people who may be on the line. If you're an experienced user, some of this may have been kind of intro for you, but hopefully as a reminder to go back and try some different things out. And if you're just starting and you're looking for ways to convert more of your existing web traffic or sell more to people, this is a great way to do it as well. Just as I wrap up here, I know everyone here is super interested in education, getting better and developing their skills. One of the things we're doing here at Privy, we tried not to pitch too hard on the product, so hopefully we were good about that, but wanted to let you know about this education we're doing, privy.com/masterclass. We're inviting names throughout the e-commerce space. Val, who you just heard from, will be speaking with us in 2 weeks, but wanted to just let people know about this as another way to continue on their education. These events are always great, and we hope we continue to add value to any of our customers or just people in the e-commerce and subscription space that want to continue to get better. So thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ryan. We have a couple of extra minutes. We had one quick question about the spin to win pop-ups. You said have up to a 10% conversion rate to newsletter subscriber. Maybe why do you think that one has that kind of success? What stores does spin to win work for? What ones do they maybe not work for too? Because I have it's a double-edged sword to me, or it's a polarizing topic as to whether to use spin to win, in my opinion. What have you seen on that one?
Yeah, we definitely understand it's something that it doesn't make sense for everyone. What we see is the people who actually take the time to customize those offerings and to do something a little bit more creative are the ones that, so there's two things. There's one, the people who spend the time to get a little bit more creative with it and make it something that is actually compelling and interesting for people rather than this, because we do give you just a standard thing you could put out there and 10% coupon everyone who spends it, right? And some of the ways we've done that, I spoke to this a little bit earlier, but one of the great examples of that we've seen recently is, someone who's doing a give to win when someone comes to your site. So based on what you land on as a company, they're going to donate that discount to a nonprofit in their area. And I thought that was really a compelling way to do it. So I think one, being super creative about how you do it, and then two, the targeting is really important. So I agree. I think the reason most people don't like it is because people put it on their home page and they say, show this to every visitor, and everyone who comes to their site sees it, which is can be super annoying. When you're targeted about what URL you show it on or the number of visits before you would show it to someone, I think that's where people see success.
I love it. And I agree completely. One person had a question quickly about Privy. Can Privy work inside native apps, iOS, Android apps, the pop-up functionality?
That is a great question.
Yeah. I had the same thing. I don't think it can. I think you have to do a different kind of install there because you're not going to put the Privy code inside that app. It wouldn't operate in the same way, but I thought you might know.
Yeah, no. Primarily, I would say no. Most of our customers are doing their install through the platforms that they're using. So whether you're using a Shopify or BigCommerce or another tool, those are typically the best use case, or you can natively install it. But typically it's on if you're using a web app or something like that.
Yeah, okay. And last question, real quick. Pop-ups on mobile. This is obviously, so I've been to an e-commerce store on my phone. Literally, I've had 2 pop-ups and a live chat icon and a banner bar. Like, come at me. Like, how do we balance this small screen space with the fact that we want to collect information from our customers?
Yeah, it's great. It's a great question. And there's certain campaigns that we have that we typically will default to just having the default setting as desktop only, because we feel like it's not a good fit for everyone to run all of these on mobile. I think what people need to think about is based on their business, how are people finding them, and what's the primary thing that you think they're using through either desktop or mobile. So if you're a business that a lot of your new business starts through conversations through the chat widget you have on your site, and that a lot of folks will come with you because for whatever reason they may be on mobile and it's a better fit and you see more website traffic coming from there, like you may actually prioritize that over some kind of pop-up offer or something like that. What I would recommend is, whether you're using Privy or another company, look at the different campaign types they offer. Something like a screen overlay that takes over the whole page, probably want to avoid on mobile if you're also trying to put other things on there. But if it's something like a announcement bar at the top of a browser that they might see that's not as intrusive, may be a better fit on a smaller screen size. So I would look based on
for an e-commerce company using Privy. We use the bar at the bottom that says get 10% off, and we removed all pop-ups, and then people would click that and fill out the information. It worked really well. So I actually have used that one. I recommend it. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you got to try different things out based on the tool you're using. Look at what they offer, and then make sure you go visit your site on your phone yourself and make sure that it's an experience that you'd want to have.
And maybe even a few other different phones. And I know that you have a great mobile preview tool, and many other companies kind of do have that. But sometimes you just need to check on like a tablet as an example, or weird screen size phone and stuff like that. Awesome. All right. Sure. Thank you so much, Ryan. We are going to move right into that next session.